If you're thinking of moving to Australia, this video is for you. I'm Ryan, I've just arrived in Wollongong this week and I'm going to help run you through everything you need to know from your visa, flights, getting accommodation when you're here, and then things like your phones, banks, travel insurance, and then finally just what to expect when you get here, and I'll show you the cost of everything at the end. The first thing that you're going to need to set up is your visa. Now, if you're anything like me, the idea of paying for this visa was quite overwhelming. I thought once I've done this, I'm almost committing to go, and it is a big thing moving to the other side of the world. So if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, a little bit unsure, I get you. As you can see, I'm sat here on a beach right now in the sun, and I'm very grateful, happy that I made the decision to go, but I can understand it is a big decision. The visa you need to get is the 1 year working holiday visa, subclass 417. This will give you the option to work all over Australia. The cost is $670, which works out about £335, and I've put the link in the description so you know you're getting it from the official government website. I went travelling this year, so I was flagged as a TB risk and therefore needed to get a medical, which cost me an extra £290. The good thing of this is I could book it the next day. I had the medical approved, and as soon as it was sent off to the visa, my visa application was approved the next day. It's very smooth. It can be expensive. It can be sort of, as I say, an overwhelming thing to commit to, but it doesn't take a long time. So it's not something you need to sort out months and months in advance, but definitely do it at least a few weeks beforehand to give yourself peace of mind. Next thing you want to sort out is your flight. So I paid £380 for a one-way from London to Sydney. That was in October. I used Skyscanner, and if you click on the flexible dates option, you can see the best prices. Now, if you're moving to the other side of the world, it doesn't really matter what day you go on. So use this to get the best deals. Easily, you'll be able to find flights under £500. Now, I was shocked when I learned mine was £380. Now, I didn't get extra legroom, nothing like that. You get like 23 kg baggage I had. My flight was with a company called Hainan Airlines, which I'd never heard of them before. Now, I was stressing because it's a Chinese airline. I don't want to be stereotypical, but most of Asia, people are shorter. So I've had domestic flights where the seats are very, very short. I was a bit concerned, maybe I'm 6'4", the flight would be very uncomfortable, but turns out the flight was absolutely fine, really, really good. So I'd recommend that. I did a 10-hour flight to China with a 9-hour layover in Haikou, and then another 8 hours to Sydney. And it was very long, but it is what it is. You're coming to the other side of the world. What do you expect? Get yourself on Skyscanner, find cheap flights, and don't be worried about using Hainan Airlines if you end up having to do it. Moving on now then to where you're going to be staying. So hotels and hostels are not really sustainable to be living in. They're quite expensive out here. So what you want to be doing is using a website called Flatmates. You can find properties people are listing and you're able to then move in with them. Make sure that you've figured out where in Australia you want to move to. You can then use the website to find properties in that area that might be suitable for you. Then you want to create a listing for yourself where you can add your budget, the length of stay, your moving day, and a bit more about yourself so the people that you may be moving in with can see more about you. One pro tip is to upgrade your account to the full plan. It costs $30, which is roughly £15, and it means that you can contact people immediately. Without it, if you message them, it can take days for them to receive the message, so communication's a lot slower. It also shows that you're serious, and it means that your listing will get pushed higher up. When you do message people, make sure to have a look at their about section and tailor your message to them with things that maybe you feel like you connect with. It just adds an extra touch of personalization that without it, you don't seem like a bit of a robot. After you've contacted them, you may exchange details for WhatsApps or things like this, and then you can arrange inspections. Once you've had an inspection, obviously you can then decide whether or not you want to move in. The next thing that you want to get set up is an eSIM. Definitely do this whilst you're in England so that when you land in Australia, you have access to data straight away. You can order taxis, no problem. I used Telsim. They're on the Telestra network connection. So Telestra and Optus are the two main mobile connections in Australia. I paid $40 a month, which works out about £20 a month, and I get 75 gig of data with unlimited calls and texts, and it's a no lock-in contract. After purchasing the eSIM, they'll send you an email with an activation link. Click that and they'll send you a QR code for you to scan. Once you scan this QR code, it will automatically add the eSIM to your device. The next thing, so most people have one of these anyway, and that's just an international bank account, something like like a Wise or Revolut account. Now, I use Wise, not for any particular reason. I've just had one for years. These will avoid you getting any sort of fees or having your card frozen. You can instantly transfer your money from pounds to Australian dollars without any problems. Right, the last thing and most definitely the most boring and frustrating thing that you have to buy is travel insurance. I know what you're thinking, oh, I've got to pay money for something that you may never use, but the last thing you want is to get out here, something go wrong, and you end up having to pay a lot of money, which you maybe can't afford. You just compare the market, you can easily find the cheapest place to get travel insurance. I ended up paying £176 for 8 months. The policy is a single trip, which included Backpacker Plus. As for the second half of my trip, I plan to travel around Australia a bit more. It's up to you on the type of cover you want. I made sure that I was covered for medical and luggage. Other than that, I like to take the risk. Make sure that you get travel insurance and avoid any unnecessary costs. Okay, what to expect when you get here. Now, what I mean by this is in terms of setting up accommodation, it's hard to sort of move straight into a flat as soon as you arrive. So you will need to be prepared to be staying in hostels or hotels for a few days. I ended up doing 7 days. I did 2 days in Sydney, and then I've had 5 days in Wollongong until I moved into the apartment. Just be prepared for some extra costs. I think the hotels here are quite expensive. I maybe did about £700 in a week at least. So that's expensive. Obviously, you're having to eat out or get your food delivered. You obviously don't have anywhere to store your food, so it can be very expensive. I will add all the cost of everything that I spent, including flights, visa, everything, these hotels for the week, and the food I spent for the week in this video, so you can have an idea of how expensive it is. As I say, it's all worth it. Once you get set up, you can then build a life in a beautiful sunny country, 10-minute walk from the beach. So that is how to move to Australia. I will be doing a video on how to get a bar job in Australia, as that's my plan. You have to actually have a license to serve people alcohol. So that's what I'll be working on over the next few weeks, getting a job here. So yeah, I'll see you when that video comes out.